that.
What do you think, though, of 100 Thieves losing, Monty? Like, this is up there with Mad Lions shit in the bed, etc. Like, except at least one of the Mad Lions ones was 3G.
I mean, they regressed to the mean. They regressed to the mean.
Wild,
I was 100 Thieves' #1 fucking hater this split. I mean, I thought they were fucking terrible the entire time. And it was honestly like, they did overperform in the way that NRG, I guess, overperformed at Worlds versus G2 last year, where I'm not going to take away the actual good games that they had, particularly against Cloud9. I think it's funny to talk about Cloud9 and make memes about Cloud9 and say like, oh, you know, well, if 100 Thieves is losing to R7, the LLA team, how bad must Cloud9 be? But I think it's legitimately fair to say that that they had a pretty good playoffs, 100 Thieves. But that being said, that was not their normal level of play that we saw throughout most of the summer split. And also, like, it was kind of a weirdly cohesive team game from Sniper. And like, the thing about Sniper is we get to see some good team fighting from him. We get to see some good laning from him again, but his TPs are terrible. They're so bad, guys. They're so bad. I mean, if we're actually just looking at the overall performance of 100 Thieves, I don't know how you could possibly ignore some of their like macro and team plays that they were making. It was outrageous. It was outrageous. Like the first game that they played against PSG Talon, you know, on their elimination game, like Sniper it's a lane swap game, right? And Sniper is actually just like heading into he like TPs for a top lane catch, you know, a top wave catch. After diving the bottom turret, but he's like at 50% HP. He doesn't actually recall first because he's trying to get his TP off to catch the wave, but there's only like a couple minions left at the wave. So then he's just chunked down to 50% HP, doesn't get a buy-in, and then he just gets bullied off the tower by Betty on Jin. So then he has to recall, and then this causes him to basically, it starts a chain reaction that's actually sets him very far behind in terms of CS to Ozzy in the top lane. And like, you can't have that happen, right? And then we also see TP mistakes coming in from Tomo, so they're not catching side waves. I mean, they were comprehensively schooled by PSG Talon.
That's because, Monty, they played against a team which even has some international experience in the bot lane and actually plays at a good level, like the champions of their region. Whereas you have to understand, Monty, that's a challenger bot lane. That's just an NACL bot lane playing against them. Like, you can't expect, you know, young up-and-comers. It's like college kids playing against pros, you know. Because, by the way, that's the one area I don't feel sorry at all. Maybe I feel a tiny bit sorry for Quid. Maybe on a better team he could have done more. You know, like, there's a few players I don't think are bad. But I'll tell you what, I don't feel bad at all about Ayla. Just fuck off, mate. I'm sorry. I'm just a dedicated hater. I just don't know what the upside is. I don't know what he must make the best pancakes of all time. Amazing foot rub. I don't know what it is, bro. It ain't anything to do with League of Legends, I'll tell you that. I don't get it.
He did play better in the LCS playoffs, but then we get games like his Rel game where, you know, it's an elimination game and he's just flashing backwards and dying in lane, so he loses flash, dies in lane. He's literally in team fights on Rel where he misses every ability. And then they lose a fight around, you know, either Herald or Grubs. Like 100 Thieves is basically just getting sucked into these absolutely awful fights when they're either late on the TP, they don't have priority. Like they played fucking pathetically. Like it was bad, man.
Monty, there's actually one I might feature in like a future video because I don't think Dom will have a copyright strike me. I don't think you can actually if it's fair use. There's a comment on, did you see that Dom did a rant right on his stream that someone made a clip out? It's like a 40-minute rant when they lose to the first one when 100 Thieves loses initially, right? He does this crazy rant about how they like the macro shit, right? And someone puts at the top comment, right? This is genius. The top comment's a timestamp and it just says something like, what they thought in what the South thought in the Korean War, and if you click that link, that moment of the timestamp, it just starts like, we're giving soul. We're giving soul. We're not giving soul. We're never giving soul. If there's anything we're not doing, it's giving soul. And like this actual right, whoever put that timestamp, props. That was actually a chef's kiss. That was straight fire. Whoever figured out that context alone made it. That's actually insane. That's pretty good, mate. Because if you don't know, by the way, guys, in the Korean War, it wasn't just where that line is. Now it went up and down. And in fact, actually, at one point,
it went all the way down to Busan.
Yeah, it got really disturbing, actually. And then it went back up again. Yeah.
It was a mess.
Fire. Yeah. Obviously not the Korean War. Look, technically that was fire, but from weapons. Obviously the joke, the contextual joke was straight fire. I loved it. It was straight fire. And by the way, this is where people do that thing, Monty, because they do this to me on my stream when I do the petty grievances. They go, little bro is losing his mind over a joke. It's like a pantomime, you idiots. We're performing. We're entertainers. Spoiler, are you ready? I'm going to blow your minds. Do you know, Monty, when that comedian goes, hey, guys, I just flew in and boy, are my arms tired. One, he didn't just fly in. He might even live in the area. That's a pre-planned joke. And two, he also didn't use his arms to fly. That's actually being sort of fucking, what is that? That's like being figurative or facetious. Like, bro, why are we doing this thing? Oh, he's losing his mind. Bro, we watch I Will Dominate to lose his mind. I don't want to see I Will Dominate C-SPAN mode, Monty. Like, well, in the end, the macro play in North America, the understanding hasn't quite caught up to the meta game that you have in other regions, including even the PCS, where experienced veterans will understand whether to trade soul or not. Like, no one would watch that. No one would watch that. You don't watch I Will Dominate to watch him do really, like, quietly stated points without any jazz. That would be like saying you watch Double Lift for, like, really insightful, smart comments about himself and others. Like, you don't. That's not what it's for. This is a feature, not a bug, guys. Let's get on board, because I don't know about you. I love it when Dom goes mental over NA stuff. I love it when LS. I fucking, here's the thing. This is why it's hard to be friends with people, but also be a fan of theirs, Monty. Because as a friend, I want LS to have a happy life where he doesn't get annoyed or triggered by people. He doesn't get upset, you know. He doesn't feel like his work was worthless and no one listened to him or understood him. But I tell you what, I do low-key love it when the whole community tells him he's wrong about like some new item or champion. And I know he's going to mouth the fuck out on his stream and just bring in like, he'll start acting like it's the trial of the century and start drafting in like other witnesses to like cross-examine them and shit. Like, oh, this guy was fourth on the Korean ladder. What does he think? I love it. It's actually like low-key. That's my favorite type of video. I don't want the one where he's having a great time going, hey guys, the patch has just come out. I think, you know, like this thing's going to get buffed on Smolder. That's not as fun for me. I do like the toxicity. That's what I watch for. These people versus meltdowns too. They're the best at
LS
meltdowns.
versus the invisible prosecutor.
Yes.
That exists
Basically,
only in his mind.
Phoenix, whatever, attorney at law or whatever that thing is. Phoenix, what is it called? Phoenix something or other. What's that game called? The one where you're a lawyer. Phoenix what? What was the surname part? Ace Attorney, there you go. Phoenix
Ace
Law,
Attorney,
Ace Attorney
yeah.
or something. But okay.
Yeah, Ace Attorney.
There is a bit of that going on when they do
Phoenix
the fucking
Wrights. Yeah.
By the way,
Phoenix
I do
Wrights.
the same thing. I do just break down like a Reddit comment by an idiot that was having a shit on the toilet and press send. I do break it down like they have, you know, submitted a political manifesto. It's like, here's why philosophically you're wrong. Here's the facts that show you're wrong. It's just, no, it's shit posting. I know. I get it. But I'm just good at pretending I don't for money on camera. And also secretly, I do get triggered sometimes as well. But I can pretend I'm not, because I'm an entertainer. It's all good.
Yeah, look, man, I have no idea what was up with the 100 Thieves. Like, I didn't necessarily think that their meta read was so terrible either. But this was like embarrassing at basically every level. I mean, it was embarrassing at basically every level, and they got comprehensively outplayed by PSG talent. Aja,
as well, throw this in as well. If you're going to complain about LCS, here's why the Americas itself should also not be a major region. Because, bro, Pain Gaming made it out. What? What? Sorry, bro, Brazilians aren't even good at fucking Worlds. Even they made it out. Even they were clutched than fucking 100 Thieves, for God's sake. Like, holy moly, what are we doing now? Like, you're all complaining, like, oh, they're taking away LCS. Bro, some of these teams are better than, like, fucking Immortals and that. They're better than 100 Thieves, for fuck's sake. What are we talking about right now? Like, they actually have some game. You know what I mean?
I think if you look at PSG, all you guys have to do, like, you could ignore the rest of the 100 Thieves games, even though, like, the R7 loss was embarrassing. But if you want the 100 Thieves experience of this world in a nutshell, all you really have to do is watch the first couple, the first two, or the only two games against PSG talent, because even by the second game, they are actually just straight running it down. Because all of their problems are just encapsulated in one team fight that takes place around the Baron pit, where they try and engage, but Sniper isn't there, and Sniper TP's late into the fight after there's already been a complete flank of Aja on like Meganar, and then then we see the Alistair from Woody coming in from behind. So they set up 2 long flanks with a pushed wave in top lane, and then Sniper just TPs super late. It's so funny. I mean, they get completely bodied within this team fight. Oh man, that was game 1. Sorry, that was game 1, not game 2.
And as Don pointed out, by the way, even though we're in 2024, bro, they're still doing NA rams. They're still NA ramming in 2024. Like, bro, Riot literally made a thing. They were like, I always make the joke, it's Fisher Price macro. It's like, go to Dragon, go to Baron, go to Dragon, go to Herald, go to Grubs, go to, you know what I mean? Like, they just made the game obvious, and you're still like, oh, I could actually use my advantage and have a fight 5v5 mid. It's like, why would you do that? Just where we fight, isn't it? The mid lane, isn't it? That's where we do our fighting. Basically, NA insists on taking inappropriate team fights mid, a bit like those people from the culture in Fast and the Furious insist on drag racing on actual public streets instead of, you know, like an actual like fucking racing track where it would be safe. That's my analogy. And also then they end up dying. Because some or other means family or so. I don't even know what the fucking... I didn't watch those movies. I only saw the first 2. I stopped watching after that. I realised that... Believe it or not, Monty, I'm a thinker. I realised after watching the first 2 Fast and the Furious movies, these are a little bit sort of iterative and reductive, and it's sort of the same thing, replayed over and over again, cynically, for money, and I've already seen the first 2, so I don't think I'll watch anymore. But apparently people kept watching... Apparently they're still making them, aren't they? Don't they make them now with, like, his fucking Force Ghost in them or whatever? I don't even know. Do they still make them? Fast and the Furious, do they? I don't know.
They just came out with, I think, the 11th one.
Jesus. By the way, how are they still getting away from the cops every time? How bad is the police in their universe, mate? You know what I mean?
Thorin, I've only ever seen one, and it was the third one, Tokyo Drift. That's the only one I've ever seen.
Isn't bad, actually, because that one sort of has a bit of swag, and you don't know what's setting up. But I can't even. But I bet that third one sounds shit too. Tokyo Drift already makes me out. I'm out just for the title.
It was bad. Anyway, so yeah, look, I don't know how you like recover from this. If anything, this should be the final nail in the coffin of anyone's argument about, you know, where the LCS should stand and whether they actually deserve 3 slots at Worlds, because after this, you can say comprehensively they don't.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.